Hey guys, how we going? Creepy Oz here. This is a video I've been putting off making because I don't know. I feel like we've talked about it already in community posts and in the comments and everywhere else, but I don't know. First off the bat, guys, this is an unscripted video. Not reading words off a page. I just wanted to talk to you candidly. I just thought it's important that I sit down and address things, unpack things, and let you guys know where I stand and how we go forward. So, to that end, I'd like to kind of split this video into two sections, essentially. Section number one, the realities that we are facing, aka things that are out of our control. And secondly, the path forward, aka things that are within our control. Alright, so to kick things off there, the realities of the situation. So you're all well aware the channel's been hit with demonetisation. I don't agree with it. I've said as much to YouTube support. I've made my case as clear as I can possibly make it there. But at the end of the day, YouTube's stance, whether that be a result of supposed human reviews that they've tried to convince me have taken place, or much more likely, the result of flawed AI systems taking a momentary glance at our channels and making a decision. Whatever the case, their stance isn't changing anytime soon. So I'm not expending any more of my emotional energy having these back and forth conversations with robots, basically. So that's going into the things we cannot control basket. For the moment, let me be clear, I'm not giving up. I just think there's more productive ways I can be focusing my energy at this moment. Also, before I go any further on things, I want to give the biggest fucking shout out imaginable, the biggest fucking thanks imaginable to this whole community. That includes you guys, the audience. That includes my fellow horror narration channels, my friends and colleagues in the space, and the wider community as a whole, because the way everyone has rallied around me these past few days has been just absolutely overwhelming in the best possible way. To know that there is a community of hundreds of people, possibly thousands of people out there, ready to step in and bat for you at a moment's notice, is a pretty fucking powerful feeling. That sense of community, that sense of belonging to something as awesome as this space, that's worth more to me than any monetization, I'll tell you that right now. I do want to say a particular big thank you to Dusklight Radio, who was kind enough to get in touch with me and give me some very helpful information regarding this whole situation that other channels in our circles have been through. And they were able to pass on some very useful information in terms of tweaking things, changing things moving forward. So thank you so much for doing that, brother. I really appreciate it. Okay, so without talking too much more about that, guys, like I said, we're putting that in the things we cannot control basket, the realities of the situation basket. Now we move on to what we can control, what we can do moving forward. So, first of all, I'm not stopping. I think I've made that pretty clear already, but in case anyone missed that, my channel being demonetized does not mean I stop being a narrator. My love for telling stories, my love for writing stories, doesn't disappear because YouTube says you can't have money anymore. Doesn't work that way. If I could turn that off, I probably would have quit years ago. But I can't. I love it, so you're stuck with me. So first thing, I've launched a podcast. So you can now listen to my stuff on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, and some other platforms that I can't even remember the names of. I just published to everything that I was able to publish to. So jump onto your chosen podcast platform and search for the Creepy Ozcast. I don't know if there's still the remnants of a couple of other older podcasts that I've set up and then deleted a couple of years ago now. If there is, the one you're looking for is the one that has a picture of my actual face as the profile picture. If you see one with Kangaroo Dude, you've landed in the wrong spot. That one is old, outdated. It shouldn't even exist anymore, but if it does, that's not being updated anymore. That's old. It was supposed to be deleted. Maybe it survived somehow, life finds a way. But if it's whatever, if you find it, that's not the one. So you're looking for the one with my face as the profile picture. So I'm going to be posting to the podcast and to the YouTube channel simultaneously. And that's just a way to essentially not have all my eggs in one basket. Because if this situation has taught me anything, it's that that's a bad idea. Because the rug can just be ripped out from under you. Now, also on the topic of other places that you can listen to my narrations, I will throw out the Patreon plug. Now, as I always mention, guys, paid support avenues exist for those of you who see value in supporting my work, for those of you who see value in my work, in me as a creator. I'm never trying to pressure anyone into paying for anything by bringing this up. Support is always appreciated, but never expected. With that said, I do have a Patreon. So if you're someone who listens to my channel quite religiously, like you listen to every upload as soon as it goes live, you hang out waiting for the uploads, the Patreon might be good value for you. It's something like, I don't know what it is in US dollars. It's very cheap. It's something like $3 per month or something like that. So I don't know, that's like 75 cents per week or something like that to get every single one of my narrations, early access, ad-free, although I guess they're ad-free on YouTube now, so that doesn't really matter, does it? But early access, like sometimes weeks and months ahead of when the podcast and YouTube will get them. So yeah, I mean, it's good value if you're someone who listens to my channel. If you're someone who listens to a lot of channels, then it might not be a good fit for you because, you're only getting like 10% of your entertainment. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that exists. That's what I offer on Patreon. Because of my specific workflow, the way I tend to schedule my uploads weeks and months ahead, you'll essentially get like a ton of stories come through in a big batch that you can just binge to your heart's content. So yeah, that's Patreon. I'm going to shut up about that now, guys. If you see value in it, go right ahead. Always appreciated, but please don't feel pressured into doing it just because YouTube has dicked me around. That's not on you. That's not on anyone but YouTube. So, okay. So, podcast, Patreon. Now, before we get into point number 3 that I'm going to touch on, I need to bring something up that I announced a few weeks ago before the demonetization happened. I hate to do this because I was really excited for it, but I'm going to have to put the remakes of the Creepy Oz catalog, Creepy Oz, Creepy AUS, not me, different person, on hold. And that sucks, because I was so stoked to be doing those to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of the channel. But you'll understand why when I get into the next point. The channel is going to need to undergo some changes. Now again, my good friends in the space have given me some very useful information about things that I need to change up on the channel, like adjusting the visuals so they're not too repetitive for the YouTube AI bot things to pick up on. But that is going to take some serious thought on my part, because I want to get it right. It's going to essentially mean a soft reboot for the channel. I may have to do things like spoken intros and spoken outros and unique video backgrounds and unique titles and things for every single narration, which is all well and good. It's doable, but I need to do it in a way that can still maintain some kind of consistent look and feel. So it is something I need to really think hard about, because as much as life is unpredictable and we don't know what's going to happen, I'd like to be as sure as I possibly can be going into this next chapter of the channel, essentially. So you can appreciate that these stories that essentially started my journey as a narrator, that I was remaking to celebrate 5 years as a narrator. I can't do those in my current style, knowing that everything soon needs to change. And this has happened at the shittest time possible, because I'm heading overseas very soon. So I'm in one of those periods where I'm kind of getting 2 to 3 months of content scheduled ahead before I go overseas. And this is just too much on my plate to have to sit down and figure out the new look and feel of the channel, figure out how to reboot things, figure out how to future-proof that against YouTube partner program policies, and sit down and create high-quality remakes of these stories that mean so much to me. It's not possible before I go away. It's not going to be possible to get that, to align that with the 5-year anniversary. So I'm going to have to can that. Not can it, but put it on the back burner for now. And again, I hate the fact that I have to do that, but this is where we are. That said, like I've mentioned already, that does not mean I'm stopping. It just means I can't go ahead with certain plans that I had. When I get back from overseas, that is going to be my prime focus. Number one, figuring out the new look and feel of the channel, how to keep YouTube satisfied, and then moving ahead with those Creepy Oz remakes. Now beyond that, and I know I've announced this before and backtracked on it, once those Creepy Oz remakes conclude, it is my intention to become 90% exclusively original stories on Creepy Oz. For a few reasons, guys. Number one, let me be blunt. I'm pretty fucking bored reading the same shit from the Creepypasta wiki, from No Sleep, from whatever other scary story boards I happen to pull stories from week to week. To avoid AI-generated stuff, because 90% of it is these days, I've had to exclusively look way back in the archives, dating back to, the 2010s, late 2000s. So, number one, that's a finite resource. And number two, it's just getting so repetitive. A lot of the stories I find, they start out really well, and then they just decline in quality over the course of the story. And it's just incredibly repetitive themes, and it just feels like all the stories are blending into one another, and I'm getting bored out of my mind reading them, to be quite frank with you. And number two, I want to be bringing something to this space that is unique to me. To write and record all my own original stories is incredibly taxing, but it is also incredibly rewarding. I don't think I've ever felt prouder, more productive, more content doing this channel than I have when I've been writing my own stuff. So that's number three, or whatever it is. I don't know. I've lost count. That's the next thing in our list of path forward stuff. So when I get back, when we wrap up the Creepy Oz remakes, I'm not going to rebrand the channel and announce I'm exclusively original stories now, because I don't want to announce stuff and backtrack like I've done in the past. I don't want to put that pressure on myself, but it is my intention to start doing, like I said, 90+% all original content on the channel. So I hope that's something you guys are into. I hope that's something you guys dig. It's going to be mostly Australian stories, I think, just because that seems to be what I can write on the best, the most efficiently. It's where I've grown up. I've explored so much of this country. I have so much that I can tap into. But I will branch out, I like writing stories based in other places too, the Philippines stuff, Japanese stories, things like that. Different horror I like to write, things that I don't see being done elsewhere, things that haven't been done a million times over. So, I don't know, guys, I think that's probably all I've got to touch base with you on right now. Like I said, this has not been scripted, so I hope you guys can actually make sense of everything I've brought to the table here. Didn't plan any of it out. I just turned on the mic and started talking. So to quickly recap, so the channel is demonetized. I've exhausted what options I can with YouTube support. They're not reversing their decision. I don't know how long it's going to be until I can get back in the partner program. That's kind of the last thing on my mind right now, to be honest. I can reapply late April, I think they said. So we'll see how we go then. Number two, the podcast. I'm going to be focused on getting my numbers up on there. So the more you guys can jump over to, particularly Spotify, I think, is the one that offers the best, the most efficient path to some kind of monetization. So if you don't have any qualms with using Spotify, that's going to really help me out, guys. If you can jump onto that podcast, if it makes no difference to you, if it's a choice between, because the episodes are going to drop on Spotify, Apple Podcasts and all that, and YouTube at exactly the same time. So if it's all the same to you, if you listen over on Spotify, that's going to help me get those listen hours and that engagement up much quicker. And you can leave me comments on Spotify now. I noticed they've added that functionality, or maybe they did ages ago and I'm just that much out of the loop. Probably the latter. So podcast is up and running. Patreon does exist for those who would like to jump over there and support. Obviously, please don't feel any pressure to do so, but it's there if you do want to. And then Creepy Oz remakes are going to be rescheduled until I get back from overseas in late April, I think it is. So we'll do those then. Until then, the stories are going to keep coming. It'll just be standalone stories. I'm going to have a hunt around and see if I can find some interesting stuff to keep us going between now and then. And a soft reboot for the channel later on when I get back and I've had a chance to sit down and think about what needs to happen there. And beyond that, look for more original stories happening after we conclude with all that other stuff. All right, guys, thanks for listening to me ramble. Once again, I do want to thank every single one of you. Seriously, guys, the response to this has been incredible. To you, the audience, and to everyone in the community who's rallied around me. I really don't know how I would have handled this without such an amazing community around me. It was quite demoralizing. I try to keep a pretty positive outlook on life. But at the time, that was a bit of a kick to the guts. But the way everyone came together for me allowed me to pick myself up that much quicker and keep that positive outlook looking ahead that keeps me going so strongly. So thank you, truly. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. I'm looking at the time thing there. I've rambled for 20 minutes without realizing it, so I'm going to call it there. And yeah. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Next video's out in a couple of days. So yeah, look forward to that. Alright. Hope everyone's having a good day or night, wherever you are, whenever it is. And see you next time, guys. Much love, hey. Creepy Oz.